This is the plaintiff, Lisa. She says the defendant's Weimaraner bit her Malta crew named Nemo and then just walked away like nothing happened. Her poor dog was covered in blood, had to get a bunch of stitches, and part of his tail was amputated. The defendants don't feel bad, never even apologized, and refused to reimburse her the $1,957.25 she spent on the vet bills. Some people. These are the defendants, Francisco and Diane Knipping. They say their dog Miranda is not at all aggressive or vicious, and it was the plaintiff's dog that started the fight. That's right, the plaintiff's dog was the aggressor. Their dog was just defending herself. The whole thing was very unfortunate, but they're not at fault, because this was just a case of dogs being dogs. They're accused of a vicious attack.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, my dear.
You're welcome.
Okay, Lisa and Charles, you've asked us not to mention your last names, and we'll respect that. You are suing Francisco and Diane Knipping?
Yes.
Well, that's unfortunate for this case. For $1,957.25 that you say is owed to you by them because, according to you, their dog attacked your dog.
Yes.
Okay, who's this?
This is Nemo.
Okay, do you have a, there's no dog on that side, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
Nemo. Okay, and what happened?
Nemo is a cancer survivor. He just got over 9 months of chemo, big surgery in July.
Congratulations for Nemo.
And he's doing great.
Great.
And my daughter was at our house that day because her boyfriend's mom had passed away that week, and we was sitting
Very
shiver,
sorry.
and I was cooking, and she said she would take the dog out because I said someone needs to take the dog out. So she walked him.
Okay. Were you with her when she walked?
No, I
Come
had
on
to
up.
stay in the house cooking.
What happened?
So I was walking Nemo, and he saw the Weimaraner, and
What's up? Do you have a picture of your dog? What's
Yes,
the
I do,
Weimaraner look like?
George. I have 2 pictures of the dog.
Okay, let's see that. And how old is Nemo?
He'll be 10 in April. He's 9 3/4.
How about this shot?
Oh my Lord. Just, what's your dog's name?
Miranda.
Miranda apparently thinks she's a lap dog.
She's not a dog, George. She's a member of the family.
She's a member of the family and you're her parent.
Yes.
Okie dokie. That is a big dog. All right. Beautiful dog.
She's about 50 pounds.
How old is she?
4 years old.
Okay. So tell me what happened.
so I was walking Nemo, and the other dog was walking behind us. We turned around.
Was
'cause
Nemo on a leash?
Yes.
Was the other dog on a leash?
Yes.
Okay.
He saw the other dog, so we turned around, and he wanted to go say hi. And both dogs met up and sniffed each other, and then she bit him. And I couldn't pull him away before.
How
she
long
bit
was
him.
the sniffing going on before the bite?
Like maybe under 5 seconds.
And was there any growling before the bite?
A little bit, yes.
Who was growling?
I think they both were.
And who was walking your dog? Come on up.
Sister.
Can you switch with her a second? Okay, what's your name?
Flavia.
Okay.
Flavia Diaz.
And you were walking, what's Miranda?
Miranda, yes.
All right. Did you see her and did you have Miranda on a leash?
Yes.
When you saw that dog, did either of you talk to each other and say, is your dog nice? Is your dog friendly?
She asked me if my dog was friendly, and I said, yes, my dog is friendly.
Okay.
And they both were moving their tails, so they looked happy both.
And then when did they stop being happy and act like the animals that they are?
Her dog bit my dog on the mouth, and my dog started crying on the grass, and she asked me many times, is your dog okay? Is your dog okay? So she knows that her dog bit my dog first.
Okay, well, what did your dog do when her dog bit your dog on the mouth?
I think he bit her back.
Where did he bite her?
On the back, like.
Okay, and as it turns out, Nemo ended up needing stitches.
Yes.
How many stitches did Nemo get?
7.
Okay, so you ended up with vet bills to the tune of what?
$1,957 and I think 20 cents.
And all that was for, what did they end up doing to Nemo?
When my husband and the kids got the dog in the car, and when she brought the dog in, I freaked. I was like, I panicked. There was blood on his back. There was blood on his tail. He was like dazed. He didn't know what happened. So they called my husband. He came home. They got in the car, And when they were driving him to the vet, we had to go up Woodmere Boulevard. They saw the number of the house where Claudia was
were you
going
in the
into.
car? I'm sorry, were you in the car?
I was in the car.
You were in the
Yes.
car. And so you see the number of the house, how? Because she walks into the house?
Yes.
At that moment?
Yes. Actually, luckily, we saw her walking the dog back. My dad rolled down the window and said, you know, your dog just bit my dog. We're rushing him to the vet. And she shrugged and said, okay, and then just walked away.
She didn't say,
No, didn't apologize, didn't say anything.
okay.
I honestly wondered
She didn't
if
say
she's-
your dog bit mine
No,
first?
No, she didn't say that. I didn't even see him bite her dog. I honestly was wondering if she even spoke English because she didn't say anything to me.
Okay. So then after the vet, do you knock on their door to talk to them about the bill?
This is what happened. Oh, this is what happened. They took the dog to the vet. Of course, they had to put him under anesthesia, which is not okay when you have lymphoma because things bring the lymphoma out. So we left them there. They left them there. My husband came home. We went to ring the bell. First, my husband went to the police.
Okay, but you just tell me what happened when you knocked on their door.
Okay, we knocked on their door. There was no one home. There were no cars there. He came back. We came back to the house. Then he went to the police. And the police gave us a yellow card for each party to fill out. And they said that New York state law is if one animal bites another animal, that party is responsible for the medical bills.
It's not quite that simple.
But, okay.
All right, what have you guys got to say about this? They confront you and they tell you your dog, bit our dog and we've incurred $2,000 worth of bills. And what do you guys say?
Well, first the plaintiff came to my house. According to my wife, she can explain to you what happened when she came to
pounding to my door the 24th. And
24th of
when
December.
I opened the door, I thought it was
On
an
Christmas
emergency.
Eve, this all happened?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's happened on the 23rd.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it was Christmas Eve, and she was pounding on my door, and so I opened the door because I thought it was an emergency. So she was talking to me like I was 4 years old. Not even that. She was talking to me like she owned my house. Very, very.
What did she say to you?
Well, the first thing she asked me was if I was walking the dog, and I said no, it was my sister. And that my dog beat her dog. I say I understand that your dog beat mine first. So
Did your dog end up having to get medical care?
No.
Okay, go on.
No. So I said to her, and then she told me that I had to go to the police because she went to the police, and she had a bill of $700. I said, you know what? Because I saw her, talking to me so nastily. So I said to her, you know what? I don't have to listen to you. We do that, by papers. And that's it. I closed the door on her. Yeah.
She's obviously agitated.
She was talking to me in a way.
How what? She's all agitated. She thinks.
I know, but
you don't
understand.
have the savvy of how to deal with people. Please calm down. It's Christmas Eve. It's a holiday for us. Can you please calm down? And
Yeah, but she was talking to me in a way that she was.
According to her, come on up. According to her, your answer to things is that true?
She knows that her dog be my dog because I didn't ask for her dog because the one that was crying was my dog and she was crying very loud. Her was very, very peaceful. And when we saw it in the back, it was just a little spot of blood, not as she said she was bleeding. So I told her must be from the mouth of my dog because I thought that she was bleeding on the mouth because she was on the grass, like crying very loud, and she was very first at my dog, not at hers.
Wait, is that true?
No.
Was her dog crying?
Not that I remember. He was.
What's not that you remember? You were there. You're the person I can ask on that side. I can't ask anybody else.
I don't remember her dog crying.
Is that a no? Her dog wasn't crying?
No.
Her dog was not crying?
No.
Ever?
That's why I asked, is it okay? Because.
Okay. You asked if that dog was okay?
Yeah, because mine had blood on it. So I was unsure.
All right, so
it's not true.
Okay. Do you have a picture of the injury to your dog? Just curious.
Our dog didn't suffer any injuries.
Well, she says that dog bit your dog in the lip.
It seems that's what happened.
But didn't actually puncture or anything?
No.
Okay. So she knocks on your door. We already heard about that. And what happens next?
On the 25th, Your Honor, which I live in a Jewish neighborhood and I respect their the Jewish religion. I wouldn't knock on somebody's door on a Friday evening. And I would expect that from the other, I would expect the other people to respect my religion. On the 25th, her husband comes to my door, knocking on my door. He was very nice. He was very decent. And he explained to me that his dog had been bitten by my dog. I said, very unfortunate. I'm sorry. Well, no one came to my house to give us your condolences. I said, well, we don't even know where you live. He says, well, I let you a paper so that you can fill it out, send it to the health department to see whether or not your dog has vaccinations, rabies. Right. And then he said, by the way, you owe me $600, $700, $800. I said, for what? He says, for the vet bills. I said, I'm not going to pay that. And the reason I said that is because where is my negligence? What did I do in the control and maintenance of my dog? My dog was on the leash.
Are you a lawyer?
Yes.
I smell lawyer. I smell lawyer. It took like 2 seconds.
Correct again.
Go on.
So I said, look, I'm not paying your bill.
According to you, however, it went further and he said, I'm not giving you my vaccination information of the dog.
Let me go. Can I go back a little bit?
No, go ahead and take it from there. That's really
well. I just want to say that when I knocked on her door,
we're going to go back anyway, aren't you?
I have to go back.
Go ahead.
I have to go back because it didn't happen the way she said. I knocked on her door and I said to her, she looked at me and she said, yes. I said, I'm the person whose dog your dog bit. I said to her, were you walking the dog? She said no. And I was really upset. We did knock on their door 8:30 at night, Sunday, on the day that it happened again. There was no one in the house. The dog wasn't even in the house, but there were cars in the driveway. So when I'm sorry it was Christmas Eve, but you know.
Well, you're not that sorry because you came back on Christmas Day.
No, so, I didn't. My husband did.
Well, yeah. You know, that is a kind of a holy day of obligation for Christians.
I apologize.
Okay, but go ahead.
Other religion.
Well, let's see.
Yeah,
did you hear the accent? What are the odds? Okay.
Okay. Well, anyway, she said to me that her dog should not be near other dogs because she is.
And by the way, you do know though that most of America celebrates the 25th, right? Like the odds, even if you hadn't heard their, just a minute.
You're right.
Just a minute. The odds were, even if you didn't know and weren't guessing, that maybe the 25th is not the day to knock on someone's door for a confrontation, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But like you said, we live in a Jewish neighborhood.
It doesn't matter. What you live in America. You know, right?
Okay.
Okay, come on.
What,
it was a big surprise it was Christmas? Go ahead.
So I said to her, she said to me, well, my dog should not be around other dogs because she is aggressive.
Who said that?
What? Yes.
Okay.
She said that
watch
to me.
this. Did you ever say my dog should never be around other dogs because she's
said
aggressive?
that to me.
Never.
Okay.
Never.
People's Court, Harvey Levin here. So is the defendant responsible for the plaintiff's dog's injury?
No, I don't think so. I think even in the wild, animals approach each other, things happen. So I don't think that they're responsible.
What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think they're responsible either.
Why?
Well, I think it just, like she said, it just happens sometimes. It's just a kind of a courtesy.
Both dogs on a leash. The plaintiff's dog walks up to the defendant's dog.
I think he is responsible because you got to know your dog. You got to take control of your dog. If the dog's not friendly, you know that right away. Pull your dog back.
Yeah, but the dog is not necessarily not friendly. It's just sometimes dogs get in fights and you don't know who's the aggressor because it just kind of happens.
Well, I don't know. I think you got to take control of your dog somehow.
Fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
I said to her also, I told her about the medical bills, and then I said to her, and who walks away from a bleeding dog? Because when Jody brought Nemo into the house, there was a lot of blood. A lot of blood.
You didn't take pictures then, right?
You know what? I was so stressed out over it. I was freaking out.
Okay.
You know, so
let me ask you a question because this fascinates me. I know you think that dogs are human and a part of the family and my child and everything, but they're not. They're property, okay? And I know we love our dogs, okay? But the dogs are property. When we talk about the negligence in a dog bite case, we are not talking about the dog's actions. The dogs are animals. We are talking about the human action. Do you understand? So what we look at is what did the human do that made them negligent? For example, did they put up a fence that didn't keep the pit bull in? We look for, do you think that your supremacy over your dog and your command of them is so high that you don't even walk your dog on a leash? You know, you think that you'll just call him and he'll come back. So you're big man on campus and not even having a leash. We look at whether you know your dog has bitten people before. And do you have any evidence that that dog has bitten anybody? Or any animal or human? Okay. We look at whether your dog has bitten anybody before. We look at, you know, whether you should have had your dog in a muzzle, given what you knew about your dog. And we look at the human conduct. I got 2 people walking their dogs on leashes who both, according to their testimony, allow the dogs to interact. Sometimes it ends well. I don't really see what that interaction does to improve my dog's day, but all right. Sometimes it ends well, and sometimes, folks, it doesn't. And when it doesn't, I need to figure out, when I have a lawsuit in front of me, what did that side do wrong? So what did that side do wrong? They're walking their dog on a leash. You have no evidence that that dog has ever been aggressive to anyone else. And your daughter comes up, which happens every day, you know, and says, is he friendly? Yes, friendly. Dog's friendly. Dog's friendly. Dog's always been friendly. And boom, boom. And then the dogs just are animals.
I've seen their dog. She hasn't. I walk the dog on the weekends. And she is aggressive.
Really?
She has.
You know what I find fascinating? That you've had, I don't know how many opportunities to say such a thing, and never once in your complaint did you mention that until I started reasoning with you. I am sorry that you ended up with this bill. I am sorry that the dog was already suffering from something and had to go through this other traumatic experience, okay? But at the end of the day, I have to see and rule that they got to cough up $1,000 to you if they did something wrong. And if they're walking their dog, and this is a normal encounter between 2 dogs, they didn't do something wrong. And if it's true that you were very nice and stressed and they were very, hey, who cares, get out of my house, that's really bad. But you know what? If that's true, it's just manners. It's not something where you get $1,000 for. And if it's true that she was screaming at you, treating you worse than a 4-year-old, that's very sad too, because I kind of think that in a situation like this, people who love their dogs should kind of be more understanding of somebody who also loves their dog. And there shouldn't even be the hostility between the humans. But alas, sometimes the humans don't act any better than the dogs do, and we can't help ourselves. However, in this situation, I have one issue to solve, and it's not anybody's manners. It's whether or not that side was negligent, resulting in that side's injuries. I'm going to assume, for the sake of this argument, that their dog bit your dog and your dog didn't even bite their dog. Do you understand? I'm assuming the facts are exactly as you say. I'm not, you know, we're not going to split hairs and figure out who was the aggressor. I don't have to do that with dogs. They're dogs. They're dogs. So if her dog just bit your dog, but was on a leash and had no aggressive behavior in its past, if you can't prove it, then you can't prove that they did something negligent. We're allowed to walk our dogs, and our dogs are allowed to be dogs. To find negligence, you would have to be able to prove that they did something wrong. You cannot. My verdict in this case is for the defendants.
Both parties, please hold on.
So Nemo leaves the courtroom on the losing end of this decision. Come on, step on in here, hey, Nemo. So how are you feeling about the outcome? I mean,
I'm quite angry. I'm
Step a
quite
little bit
angry.
next to her,
Very angry because
Why?
this dog is aggressive.
Why'd
And
you
I've
wait-
seen her.
You didn't say that until like you were about to leave the courtroom. Plus, you have to prove it anyway.
I have to prove it.
Yeah.
There's some, and
Witnesses
they
and-
were incredibly rude and nasty. They slammed the door in my face. They didn't care that the dog was bit. They didn't even apologize. There was nothing said.
Nemo's ignoring me. Oh, that's more
Hi,
like it.
puppy.
Okay. Anyway.
They
How
were
is
not
Nemo?
a-
How's Nemo?
Nemo is great. Nemo's a cancer survivor. Nemo is
All right,
you
good.
know, but
On
he
we go.
suffered.
All right. Well, Nemo's okay now, and that's great. All right, head right down this way. So the judge smells a lawyer, and he wins anyway, because the law is what it is. And she found that you didn't do anything.
Exactly. It was an unfortunate incident, and I'm very sorry for her dog. But the way things developed, the way that we treated each other, ended up in litigation. And that is unfortunate. Had they come to my house with a different attitude, I probably would have said, you know, let me report it to my insurance company, or my insurance company would have paid. But they came to my house. You got to pay me $600-700 for the vet bill. That is not the way.
No, that's not the way to treat a lawyer. Harvey?
You know, here's the deal. If a dog bites a person, in many states, there is automatic liability, period. But in this case, you have 2 dogs. You have to prove negligence in order to recover money. And in this case, a plaintiff couldn't prove the defendant was negligent. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.